Hello everyone and welcome back. Look at this gorgeous sweet baby dress we are making today. These adorable crocheted heart appliques make this little dress so special. This pattern is beginner friendly and definitely rewarding to make. So let's go over the materials. We're going to start with a slip knot and chain 54. We are now going to chain 3. So into the 4th chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, we will do 2 double crochets. We will put 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. And into the chain after that, we will put 2 double crochet increase. And then again, 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches, followed by an increase, which is 2 double crochets into the same stitch. So that is the sequence for this row, alternating. So I have 2 chains remaining, so in those 2 chains I will put my 2 double crochets. We will chain 3, turn our work. Into every 2 double crochets together, in the middle of them we will put 3 double crochet shell. Between the 2 double crochets we will put 2 double crochets. Between these two, in a V-stitch, we will put 3 double crochets. And again, between 2 alone double crochets, we will put 2 double crochets. So we will be alternating 3 double crochets with 2 double crochets. So this was my last 3 double crochet shell. We're going to skip this stitch, and into the top of chain 3 we're going to put 1 more double crochet. Chain 3, turn your work. Now it's going to be easier because in every shell of 3 double crochets, into the middle stitch we're going to put 3 double crochet shell. And then in each space between the 2 double crochets we're going to put 3 double crochet shell. So this row will be all 3 double crochet shells. So right here, instead of 2, we're adding 3. At the end of this row, I have 35 3 double crochet shells. We're going to add 1 more double crochet into that last turning chain. So this is what we have so far. The next row, row 1, 2, 3, row 4 will be all 3 double crochet shells. So the repeat basically of row 3, and into each middle stitch of each shell from the previous row we will do 1 or 3 double crochet shell. To connect 2 pieces, we will slip stitch to the top of chain 3. Going to chain 3, And into this space between the two ends we will add 3 more double crochets for a total of 4 double crochet shells. This row will be all 4 double crochet shells, which we'll be putting into every middle stitch of the shells from the previous row. And do this until the end of the row. At the end of the row you should have 36 4 double crochet clusters, and we're going to slip stitch to the top of chain 3, and from now on we're going to be working starting from the middle of the first shell. So this is our middle shell that we added, so I'm going to slip stitch once and then slip stitch one more time into the middle of this 4 double crochet shell. So slip stitch first, we will chain 3, and let's put this on hold for now. Okay, so for the next row, this is row 1 2 3 4 5, so the row 6 we're going to separate for the sleeves. So we're going to be counting from the middle shell here, 1 2 3 4 shells. We will put stitch marker in it, and then we will do 2 shells and put different color marker in it. Separate 1 2 3 4 between the pink, and then 2 more add the blue one. So this is going to be our sleeve opening. This is going to be a different count of stitches, so that we narrow the top of the sleeve so it doesn't look like it has little pointy ends. And then we're going to separate 10 shells between the 2 blue markers, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Again, we're going to separate 8 shells for the sleeve, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and then separate the last 2 stitches to isolate the 4 shells in between. So it will all make sense when once we start working. So we already have chain 3. We're going to add 3 more double crochets, and continue doing 4 double crochet shells into each shell from the previous row until you reach the first blue marker, or whichever color markers you have. I've come to my first blue stitch marker, so continue with 4 double crochet shells. And move your marker to the upper row. So next row we're gonna do the separation for the sleeve. So we have 1 more 4 double crochet shell, and now we're going to be working 3 double crochet shells in the next 4 shells. So we will still be working in the middle, only 3 double crochets. So I've come to the last 2 shells of the sleeve opening, so these 2 shells will be 4 double crochet shells. And now we're going to do 10 shells for the front. They will all be 4 double crochet shells. Move the marker up, and continue until the next stitch marker. I've come to the stitch marker. This is our second sleeve now. These 2 shells will be 4 double crochet shells. Now do 4 full shells with 3 double crochets into the middle of each shell. The next 2 shells will be 4 double crochet shells. And now we'll continue with 4 double crochet shells all the way to the end. Don't forget to move this stitch marker up. We will slip stitch to the top of chain 3. And now we're going to move on to the middle of the shell. So slip stitch once and slip stitch twice into the center of the shell, right here. Chain 3. This row and every following row, we're going to do only half of our shell here, and then slip stitch back after we do 2 double crochets into this same space. So only 2, so chain 3 and 1 double crochet. Now we're going to do 4 double crochet shells until you reach your first blue marker. So I did my last 4 double crochet shell before the blue stitch marker, and now I'm going to go and do the next 4 double crochet shell into the shell right after the stitch marker, so that way we create sleeve opening. Just like that. Continue until you with 4 double crochet shells until you reach your next blue marker. And at your next stitch marker, you're going to do the shell just before the first blue stitch marker, and the shell right after the stitch marker. You will put your next 4 double crochet shell. Oops, that's a little bit too loose. And then continue with 4 double crochet shells until the end of the row, and I will show you how to end around with only half the shell that we did at the beginning of our round. I'm at the end of the round, and if you remember, we did a chain 3 and only 1 double crochet in this middle shell. So yarn over and into that same middle, add 2 more double crochets. And to end the round, you will chain 1 and you will slip stitch to the top of chain 3. And now you have nice looking 4 double crochet shell. So now I will turn around, pull up that yarn and chain 2, and into that same space I will double crochet once and continue with 4 double crochets for this entire round. This is my last 4 double crochet shell, and now we've come to the middle shell where we have only 2 double crochets at the beginning. So what I'm going to do is add 2 more double crochets into the center of that middle shell. I will chain 1 and slip stitch to the top of chain 3. You can now chain 1. I'm going to switch the colors, and if you don't want to, that is fine with me. And leave yourself enough tail so you can weave it in. Tighten. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to weave in this end so I can work over it with my purple yarn. To weave in my end, I just go under the stitches like so. First in one direction, maybe 6-7 stitches. Pull the yarn through. Make sure it's not tight, and then go back in this opposite direction. So once you get to this part, you will be working over these two strands, securing the yarn like so. I'm not going to cut the yarn yet until I work over it. So when I do the body of the dress, I like to start under armpit so it's less visible when the baby is wearing the dress. If you wish to continue working from the back of the dress, that's fine too. So to continue, I will start in the back shell, closest to the armpit as I can. Pull through, tie a knot, and we can continue. Pull the yarn through, chain 3, and do one more double crochet into that same space, and now continue 4 double crochet shells all the way around. And let's do that for 3 rows. So 3 rows of purple. I finished my 3 rows. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rows finished. So this row I am going to increase because I want my dress to flare out a little bit more. So you will, or we will chain 3 and put 1 more double crochet into that same space. And now we're going to add 1 double crochet before and after each 4 double crochet shell. So 4 double crochet shell, and a double crochet in the space between 2 shells. So that's the sequence: 4 double crochet in each 4 double crochet shell from the previous row, and then 1 double crochet into the space before and after each shell right here. So I added last double crochet into the last space between the 2 shells, and I'm going to add 2 double crochets in my last shell, chain 1, and slip stitch to the top of chain 3. All right, now I'm going to pull the yarn out again, chain 2, and we're going to do 4 rows repeat. So whatever we did in the last row, 4 double crochet shells alternating with 1 double crochet, we're going to continue doing that here. So I'm going to do my second double crochet, then a double crochet into the double crochet from the previous row, between the 4 double crochets another 4 double crochet shell, and now 1 double crochet into the double crochet from the previous row. So I completed my 7th row of purple yarn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And so now I will switch my yarn to white. I'm going to make this dress in stripes of 7 rows of alternating colors. So at this point you can chain 1, which I did, chain 1, and just pull your yarn and tighten. Next I will weave in my end, and then I will restart my white yarn. And to restart your yarn, start in the same shell where you cut your yarn, chain 3, additional double crochet into that space, and now move on to your first double crochet to make one double crochet on top of that stitch, and then continue with your shells and double crochets for 7 rows. After finishing 7 rows of white yarn, reattach your purple yarn, that is if you're changing the colors. Put one more double crochet into that same space, and now we're going to do a little bit of an increase. So for the first double crochet, we're going to put 1 double crochet into that stitch, then do our 4 double crochets as usual. And now for the next double crochet, we're going to put 2 double crochets into that one. So 1 and 2. So we're going to repeat this sequence all the way till the end of the row. So we will be doing 4 double crochets, shells as usual, but when it comes to that single double crochet, we're going to alternate 1 or 2 double crochets. So now this was a 1 double crochet, this was 2 double crochets. Now we have 1 double crochet, and so on. Continue this until the end of the row. For row 2 of the purple yarn, same beginning, so chain 3 and additional double crochet into that same space. Now into the double crochet from a previous row, we're going to put 2 double crochets, and where we have 2 double crochets, we're going to also put 2 double crochets. So we're going to have a sequence of 4 double crochet shells followed by a 2 double crochet cluster. So here we're just going to put 2 double crochet in the middle of that cluster, in the middle of the shell 4 double crochets, and again where we have 1 double crochet, we're going to put 2 double crochets. So now my pattern is all the same. I have 4 double crochet shells followed by 2 double crochet clusters. I'm going to add 3 more rows. So this is 2 rows. I will add 3 more rows. I finished my 5 rows of purple or lavender color, and I just wanted to measure my dress a little bit. I'm making this for a 6 to 12 months old baby, and I'm looking for 14 to 15 inches from the top of the shoulder down to the hem, and right now I am at 13.5. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 1 more row of purple. So I'm gonna have 6 rows in total. So my dress is now 14, almost half inches, or 37 centimeters. So I'm gonna stop here because that is appropriate length for 6 to 12 months old baby. I'm gonna cut the yarn here, and then we're gonna start the finishing touches on the bottom with white yarn. So tie it off, and then I'll show you what to do. So to finish the bottom of my dress, this is where I tied my yarn, and then I weaved in the ends. So with white yarn, I'm going to start on the opposite end of my dress. So under the other armpit, pick one of those stitches. We're going to start in one of these, let's say here, in this stitch. So not in the space below it, just in the actual top of double crochet. Chain 1, and into that same stitch I'm going to put my first single crochet, and now we're going to single crochet in every stitch around. So we have 4 double crochets per each shell, so there's going to be 4 single crochets, and then we have 2 double crochets for the cluster that we did. We're going to do 2 single crochets in those, and then again 4 single crochets in our double crochet shell, and now 2 for the cluster of 2 double crochets all the way to the end here. Once you have your last single crochet, you will slip stitch to the first single crochet. That looks pretty neat. I like the little border. So now let's go back to the top of our dress, and what I want to create is a buttonhole. So where we left the tail with our very foundation chain for this dress, I found the button that I like, and I believe it's about it's approximately 1.3 centimeters or half an inch. You can do the size of button you want. I don't like big bulky button. This is kind of very sweet dress and I don't want to have a big button on it. So I'm going to put my button right at the back where the first tail is, and then I'm going to just pull the tail down and approximate to the size of the loop that I want for my button. Make sure your button goes through the loop, so just test it, and mine does. And so I am going to end my button loop right here. So grab that tail and make a loop, and now adjust the size of your button loop. Again, make sure that your button goes through it. Mine does. And so now what I'm gonna do is make my first chain and tighten it. All right, so now I'm gonna get my tail weaved in here, and then we're gonna be working over it as we do the border around the neck opening. So find this very corner stitch right here, and we're gonna start our yarn by chaining 1, and now in our loop that we created we will do single crochets, 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm gonna do a single crochet into this stitch here, and 1 into the space, 1 into the top of the double crochet, 1 into the space or into the stitch, 1 at the end of the row again, and 1 into this space or the actual stitch. Okay, so that brings us to the middle. I am going to pick the middle of this shell and slip stitch into it. And now we're going to repeat this on the other side. So I'm going to put first single crochet at the top of this double crochet, then 1 into the space or the actual stitch. Try to grab 2 strands whenever possible. Then again 1 at the end of the row, into the stitch, right here, into the stitch, here, and then the last stitch will be right here into this top of chain 3. All right, so now let's double check our button band or buttonhole to make sure that our button will get through, and it will. You can fasten off here. So what I'm going to do instead, I will just slip stitch right here. Now I will chain one, cut my yarn. Okay, I'm going to weave in my end right here, and then this end right here, and then we're going to be working over those with our purple yarn. Now grab your purple yarn, and we're going to start in this very top stitch. It may be a little bit tight. So go back into that same stitch, pull up that yarn, and I am going to do my first single crochet into that next space. Now it's going to be easy because we will do one single crochet per each stitch. This was the row of double crochets, so on top of each double crochet we will make one single crochet. It's easy to spot them. So continue this until the end of this row. I have a couple of more single crochets to do, and this is our last double crochet, so my last single crochet will be in that stitch. Chain one, leave yourself a little bit of tail, and cut your yarn. Tighten, and now we're gonna weave in this end alongside of this purple yarn. We can now work on our button. So the button, I prefer to do it in contrasting yarn. First of all, make sure that your needle gets through the little holes, because there's no worse thing than when you get all ready and set up and then you realize that your eye of the needle is too wide. So I position my button to where I believe the buttonhole will get over. So I'll do my button right here, and what I do is I will leave myself a little bit of a tail in the back of the work so that I can tie the button later on. You can go crisscross, you can go horizontal. I'm gonna go vertical, and I will do this twice around. So this is round one, as I would call it. That's that. Tighten everything, and now tie a couple double knots in the back. That should be enough. Fabulous. To finish the border around the sleeve, find this very middle stitch between these two sets of double crochets, and we're going to attach our yarn right in the middle. Chain one. Into that same space we're going to put our first single crochet into this space here, then into the middle of the shell from the previous row, and now we can just do one single crochet into each stitch from the previous row. So now we're going to do one single crochet in this space, one in the space or in the stitch, and then one more single crochet here, and we're going to slip stitch to the first, single crochet, chain one, cut the yarn and weave in the end, and we're going to repeat this for the other sleeve. To make these adorable hearts, we need 4 of them. I will start with the magic circle. If you don't know how to do magic circle, I strongly suggest you get on the YouTube and learn how, because it's very helpful when you're doing projects where the center needs to be cinched and tight. It's also very helpful when you're making hats, baby hats for example, or adult hats, doesn't matter. So we will chain 3. And now in this circle with the strand to the left, we will do 3 treble crochets. So treble crochet is yarn over twice, pull up the yarn, and then I'll go through first 2 loops, second loops, 2 loops, and then third 2 loops. One more, yarn over twice, go through the first 2 loops, second 2 loops, and third set of 2 loops. So that's our 3 trebles, and we also have a chain 3. Now we need 3 double crochets. We're working on one side of a heart. Now we're gonna do chain 1, another treble crochet, so yarn over and then go through first 2 loops, second 2 loops, and third 2 loops, chain 1. And now we're gonna mirror the side that we just did, so 3 double crochets. And now we need 3 treble crochets, so yarn over twice, into the center, pull up the loop, go through first 2, second 2 loops on the hook, and the third set of 2 loops on the hook. We need 3, so this is my second one, and third one. Now we will chain 3 and slip stitch into the circle like so. Now there are 3 chains, 1, 2, and 3. Into those 3 chains we will slip stitch. So grab the back loop only. This is chain stitch number 2. A little bit finicky. And number 3. In each of the 3 trebles, we're gonna do 2 single crochets. So that's 1 with 2 single crochets, 2 with 2 single crochets, and 3 with 2 single crochets. Now we'll do 3 single crochets, 1 in each of the next 3 stitches, so 1, 2, and 3. And once when you get to the tip, there is a space between, and this is our treble crochet. In the space you will put 1 single crochet. Into the treble crochet right here you will put 1 single crochet, chain 1, and 1 single crochet. into the space next to it, you will single crochet, and then do single crochet into the next 3 double crochets. So that's 2 and that's 3, and we're going to go and do 2 single crochets per each treble crochet. So this is 1 with 2 single crochets, 2 with 2 single crochets, and then 3 trebles with 2 single crochet. And now we have our chain 3. So here, here, and here we will do slip stitches into those back loops. And lastly, we will slip stitch into the center of the ring. Now pull up your yarn and cut it. I bring that yarn to the back, and I'll grab the strand or the tail and pull, and that will cinch the middle of the heart, and now you have yourself a beautiful little heart. So do 4 of those. So this is option number 1. That's why I wanted 4 hearts, to give you an option of placing 3 down below, 1 up there. You can do 4 hearts here, you know, whatever rocks your boat. I would prefer 1 up and then 3 down. So to secure the hearts to the dress, let's do the middle one here, and just find that middle of the dress. It would go obviously from up here, so it would be around here. And if you want to put it between the rows here, we had 7 rows, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3. It would be around here, row 4th. So if this is our middle, it would be right here. We will be using these 2 strands to tie the heart to the fabric first, but then we're gonna have to do a little bit of stitching around so the hearts don't flip and flop when they get washed or when the baby moves. So if you're happy with your location here, I would take my crochet hook. So this is where I would probably draw my first string. And right here. And then the second one would be next to it, maybe here. And pull that under, making sure you don't catch other yarn that you don't need to. Okay, so now check whether you're happy with the position of the heart. Tighten slightly. I'm quite happy with where that heart is. So now I would flip my dress and tie a knot, and for now I would only tie 1 knot and then double check if the placement is okay. Okay, so that's fine. We're gonna secure it in a couple 3 places. So now I can do a couple double knots. There you go. I'm going to use this longer strand to secure my flower to the dress. So, all right. So now center your heart like so. Hold it. And then let's get our yarn under the white stitches, and then look for that tip of the heart right here. Again, check for placement, very important. And so we're gonna go down, grabbing one of those stitches, like right here, and through the white yarn into the back of the dress, like so. Right, so we're gonna go again under the white yarn, kind of halfway through, and find the side of the heart, like here, and pull up that yarn and return under the dress. So you will do this 4 or 5 times here, and then here and here, and that should hold the heart in place. Once you're done with your stitches, you can now make some knots, cut the yarn. So you will repeat this for the other 4 hearts, or 3, and then I'll show you what I have in mind for the top of the dress. Let's do first those 3 hearts. For the twisted cord, I cut myself approximately 50 centimeters or maybe 10 inches of just regular sewing yarn. And then from the pink yarn, I got here 36 inches, that's the double, or 90 centimeters of my purple yarn. So I'll try to demonstrate as best I can. So I'm using this, just a regular little decoration vase, and I'm gonna put the end of my purple yarn all the way to the end of my table, so that you can see hopefully what I'm doing. And so I'm gonna grab the other end of my yarn, and I'm gonna start turning this yarn in one direction, so to the right or to the left, doesn't matter, and do it 40 times. So I'm gonna get off the camera and continue turning this yarn 40 times. I got already 8, 9, 10, 11. I got my 40 twists, and it's pretty twisty, as you can see. Now I'm gonna go and grab my other end of my yarn that was under the weight, making sure that it doesn't unravel on me. And I'll hold these 2 ends together, don't let go, and allow the yarn to twirl, and it will twist and get very pretty. So now on this end, you're going to tie a knot, like so. Okay, so now you can let go. This is now easier to work with. So this is where our needle and just regular sewing thread comes in. First, I'm going to make sure that my buttons or my beads will allow this yarn needle to go through. And it goes through, which is great. So now I'm going to thread my needle with this white sewing yarn in half. So I got sort of 4 layers because I want this to be very strong. I'm going to tie the knot at the end. Like so. You can cut the excess if you want. This is just a helping tool. And I'm going to thread my needle through the end of this cord, like so, and then catch it through the loop, like that. And so now I am ready to line up my beads. So when you look at your little cord, and if this is to be the top of my bow, I'm going to have 2 strings hanging, so the hearts will have to look into different direction when we bead them through. So I'm going to start with this end. So I'm going to grab me a point facing me, towards me, then the white bead, and then the purple bead. Wiggle this through. And now the other 3 hearts will look the opposite direction. So with the wider part towards me, there's white, and then there is purple. So bead that through. Awesome, and now you can cut this yarn. And you can make a knot on this end. This will not go anywhere. This one has already a knot in it, and this one will not allow these beads to get through either. So now you have yourself a beautiful little cord with beads on it, like so. And now I'm going to attach this to the center of the neckline. So find the center of the dress, and I think it will be these 2 stitches. So I am going to get my little heart beads and the strand, give them a little push so they get in and then out on the other side without stretching the stitches too much, like so. And I'm going to tie a bow now and see if I need to do adjustments to the length of my little cord. Like so. Well, look at that. How adorable is that? Beautiful heartbeat. So what I'm going to do now is cut these 2 on the same length, or to the same length. Like so. And if you want, you can go ahead and split the yarn so it's more like frizzy. And now we're gonna do the other end, cut the other end to the same length, like right here. I prefer this look. It kind of makes it a little bit sassier, if you will, and just adds a special touch to our little heart summer dress. And there you have it, your finished heart summer dress. I hope you loved making this pattern with me today. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below letting me know what colors you used, and don't forget to subscribe for more fun crochet tutorials. See you in the next video.